Hello there, and welcome to the Palm and Pine Podcast. The boys are coming to you from their hidden camp, set deep in the Florida woods on the banks of the mystic Swanee River. So let's take a moment and hear from the boys of old Florida.
Welcome to the Pine and Palm Podcast again. So Doug Barlow here with Steve Barlow, and we're very fortunate to have a wonderful guest with us today, Mr. Chris Boland. He's just an outstanding fan of sports, and I met Chris going to a bunch of different Gator games. We probably went to hundreds together, and a lot of people don't know he's a great collector of sports memorabilia. He's got one of the biggest collections I've ever seen, and so he's originally from Lincoln, Nebraska, and he just up and moved everything about 15 years ago and came to Gainesville, Florida, and watched a lot of Gator sports. And now he's kind of retired back to Lincoln, Nebraska. So, Chris Boland, welcome to the podcast.
You, Doug?
Yeah. How's it going?
I've actually been there. I was there 17 years, though.
Oh, 17. Well, tell us the story about why you came to Florida to watch sports.
Well, that was the only thing to do, because to enjoy the nice weather and meet new people, start a new life, because my mother passed away and there was no other family that left me that was here to keep me here. I decided to go ahead and move. And so I decided to start life over again at age 38. And, total new surroundings and everything. Bus systems and the whole yard,
Yeah. So. Well, great. Now you're a great collector of sports memorabilia, and so you probably have some things laying around nearby you. I would just bet you could show us different things you're collecting.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We've got I've got the national champions for the FSU, and then we got.
All right, now what year was that?
Well, that was 2018.
Okay. Yes.
And then we have the champions for the Gators there, and the national champions up there for 14 and 15.
Back years, right?
Back.
Softball.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we have. Then we have the state of Florida flag there.
Oh, wow.
And then Miami and UF there, the combination flag.
Okay.
Side by the house divided flag. And then there's the baseball one for the Gators in 2017.
2017, right. Yes, of course, right.
And then we have the other one here.
What other one is that?
The flagpole. I got flagpoles in here too. This is the UF and the Miami and the FSU flag.
Okay, kind of half and half. Okay.
Yeah, half and half. Or house
really
divided.
Tell you're from Nebraska. Yes.
Yeah, right. And then I got one more. This flag is Gainesville and Florida and UM there on the end of it there.
What is that jersey kind of behind you there? Whose is that?
Okay. Well, this one here is Katie Kistler from last year's team, number 29.
Oh, so, okay, that was softball. What position did she play?
Yeah, she played outfielder.
Outfield, okay, right, okay.
And then we've got Rothrock, a pitcher for the Gators, the current staff.
Now that's softball again, right?
Yeah, she's a pitcher for number 7 for the Gators on number 7.
Okay.
And then we have the center fielder, Kendra Falby, number 27, with the jersey there. So.
Well, Chris, what would you say is the most valuable piece in your collection? You've got a lot of stuff stored away, so.
Yeah, from down from what it was before, when my guys threw it all out. When they would we move when
What
I
is your
moved.
most valuable piece, you would say?
Well, probably my autographs, probably, or the
Autographed
footballs
footballs?
the footballs that I
You
have.
have a Steve Spurrier autographed football?
No, but I have a book. So
Autographed book by
uh,
him?
the book is right here, right?
What autographed
Um,
footballs do you have?
well, gee, I got a lot of those. The here's here's Spurrier's book right here.
Head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, and you have it signed by him.
Yeah, and it's
Where's
we
that?
signed it there.
Oh, okay. Now, where did you buy it like that, or did you have to go somewhere to get that?
Well, he was at the Rights Union that day, and I waited in line
No
for
kidding.
over an hour to wait and
Over an
get there at
hour.
8 in the morning.
Now you
You
have
had to get there
autographed
early.
footballs from every coach at Florida since Ron Zook. Is that right?
Well, right after Ron Zook, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get Ron Zook though.
Okay.
No big loss there.
But you have the current fellow they have. You have him on a football.
Yeah, Billy Napier. Yeah.
Right. I'd almost forgotten. Yes, Billy Napier. Yes. Do you have any balls signed by other coaches? Bobby Bowden.
No, I don't have I don't have that one. No, by him. No. Let's see here. We're still going for that sweet. This one's Billy Napier there. Can't really see it.
That's your latest one.
Well, but that's it there. You can see it there, I think.
Oh, yeah. So you have that one there with you right now. It's not in storage.
Well, no, it's all in my apartment. Everything's all in my.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is the Billy Napier ball there.
What about that coach at Miami, Cristobal? Do you have one signed by him?
No.
No.
I don't have any. Don't have any Miami one by him yet. No.
Chris, you know some funny stories. Tell us about that story when you were a young man and you went to a casino with some friends of yours, and they all got completely gassed. And of course, you don't drink, so they designated you to drive home. Tell us about that.
Well, yeah. See, I that day I had been up all day because I was just doing some stuff or working or whatever. Back in the day when I was still working, and I was up all night. We decided I'll just drive back. No big deal. Well, it was probably about 2 or 3 in the morning when I was a couple blocks from my house, and I fell asleep without having. I had been up almost over a day, 24 hours, and I fell asleep and I hit a tree, and I didn't hit it that hard, but the thing is, when I fell asleep, I hit the gas pedal, and my the front fender folded up just like a U, a shape of a U.
And you guys all woke up in the hospital, huh?
Well, yeah, I was my two other friends were let go after that. After about an hour or so, I was knocked out, and I was put in a hospital bed, and then a couple hours later, I woke up, and then they let me go. And,
yeah, because they ran your blood tests, and there was nothing in there. You were sober.
Right.
So driving sober can be dangerous at times.
Well, eventually, the tree got cut down, and the car had to get
I bet they didn't have you as a designated driver again.
Right, and the car got totaled and everything. So it was just one of those.
They learned their lesson, didn't they?
Well, yeah, I just didn't want to hurt anybody. But the thing is, see, the seat was pulled up so far because I'm a short guy. So the guy that was riding in the front seat on the passenger side, he got a big softball welt on his elbow, on his arm, because he hit the dashboard real hard, and it was one of those contusions, and he was really hurt. The other two guys in the back seat, they had plenty of room because the seat was pushed up so far, they didn't have anything, happen to them really, because,
But they were too gassed to notice anyway, right? Coming from
Right. Well, and that's the thing. When I finally hit the tree, all four of us were asleep. We were all out. We were all
nobody knew anything happened.
Three drunk people, and then the driver was asleep. So and yeah, those guys were asleep too. So yeah.
Well, I guess it was a strategy that kind of worked, because if they would have fallen asleep, it would have been worse. Oh man, that's kind of crazy.
Right. We had well, it woke a couple of them up anyway, and then they went and got help because they had to call the fire truck and everything, and the ambulance. The hospital was only 2 blocks away, so they transported us all there. So.
You were almost home from the casino.
Yeah, I was 2 blocks away from my home. Yeah, and then the hospital was 2 blocks in the other way. Yeah, so
And where was the casino, in Mississippi?
In Omaha, actually.
Omaha. So you drove all the way from Omaha to Lincoln.
Yeah. So
now it's kind of funny that you are from Lincoln, Nebraska originally, and but
yeah,
you're not a big Husker fan, I gather.
Well, no, that's the only thing I don't like. I don't like about the state. Everything else is great. My high school is about the best school in town here. I like it. Other than that, the rest of the town.
What was the name of your high school, Chris? What was the name of your high school?
I went to Lincoln Pius.
Lincoln Pius with a P?
Yeah, Lincoln Pius the 10th. Yeah.
So you are a graduate of Lincoln Pius High School.
Wow.
But not a Husker.
No,
what is the grudge you have against the Huskers?
Well, I just don't like them. I don't like the color. I hardly ever the color red. I just don't like the color red. When it's Christmas time, I like the color green instead of.
Yeah.
But that's why. But see, that's why you got to have an orange and gator. You got to have an orange and blue gator Christmas tree when you celebrate Christmas. You can't have a green one. You got to have an orange and blue one.
Yeah, preach it, brother, preach it.
Right. Man. Now, when you became a Gator fan, did you have a friend that influenced you, or anything, or was there anybody else up there? Well,
in 96, well, 98, I was wearing my UF shirt from the College World Series that day. And I went to a volleyball game at the Coliseum at the time. And that's when you could actually go down on the floor and meet the coaches, So I had gone up there to buy 2 other shirts, by the way, UF and FSU, or UM and FSU, because all 3 schools were at the College World Series. And this was in 98. So I went down on the floor and I met Mary Wise, and I told her that I said, I'm going to see you in Gainesville in a few years. That was 2003 when I saw her. So that was 5 years earlier.
So it was prophetic. So you just had something in you. You were born in Nebraska, but you were really a Floridian. Is that right?
Right. And so, I got my first job down there. It took me a couple months to find a job because a new city, a new bus system, nobody knew, not knowing anybody except Mary Wise. And in fact, the first day I was there, which was August 11th, actually, the morning of the Monday, I went down and got my Gator volleyball pass for the season.
Yeah.
First thing I bought. So.
Yeah, she was a great coach. I think she just recently retired.
Yes, she did. Yeah, I'm sorry to see that, because she retired just after John Cook did here at Nebraska. So,
Chris, you may be the largest Gator fan in the whole state of Nebraska.
Well, yeah, I like all. Well, I just got an errand. I'm also a Dolphins fan too, and a couple other teams and baseball and things like that too. So, but I did get an Aaron Rodgers football from 2000 when his records were on there. Nico Sports has a whole bunch of footballs that have the panels that are colored, and they tell you about all the statistics, So I got those too.
So you collect the NFL paraphernalia too, right?
Yeah. When it, here's another thing. I get a football from each of the college football champions that have just come out.
So you got Ohio State football recently?
Yeah,
Oh, no kidding. You got it there with you?
yeah. That's Michigan from a couple in 2023.
Oh, no kidding. Is
Yeah.
it signed by
And then-
anybody?
Yeah, and then you got the other Michigan there, the Washington
Who
game
signed it?
in 24, and then you have the here's the one from. Well, let's see. There it is.
Ohio State. Now, is it signed or is it just a commemorative
Well,
football?
no, they're not. None of them are signed. It's just the ball.
Oh,
That's
okay.
always
Neat.
used.
So you don't hold any grudges. You can appreciate whoever wins, huh?
Right. The only thing is, I won't order a Nebraska football if they win a national title anymore. I wouldn't order their ball.
No, you couldn't. No way.
But
So now you worked at Kannapaha Middle School for quite a while when you were in Gainesville. Is that correct?
yeah, that's where I retired from in 2016. I worked there almost 11 years.
Okay. So you
And
now
I did other various jobs working.
and
for
you went to a lot of
Bureau.
Gator ball games. You went to a lot of Gator ball games. What's some of the craziest things you remember from all those ball games?
Well, sleeping outside in the morning, waiting to get in for ticket. Well, we didn't have tickets. You had to get down in front with my wig on, and everything. And I had to get ready for that.
So now you wore a wig,
Well,
an orange and blue wig. You have it there with you?
yep.
Put it on.
Oh, yeah,
All
there we
right.
go.
Put it on. Put on the wig.
Okay, just a minute here. Hold on. Okay, the backside. Shake it up a little bit so it
There
looks
you
better.
go.
You're good.
There.
All
Are we
right.
in the middle?
All
Yeah, I think.
That is the way to go.
All right.
Yeah.
So you right, it kind of brings back memories.
Yeah.
So you were out front waiting for tickets with that on,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I would also keep score at the game, sitting there and watching on TV so everybody could see me for every pitch.
Now, did
Yeah.
you walk around up there in Lincoln with that on?
Well, I mean, not anymore because the games aren't on TV here because I don't have cable. But otherwise, well, the Gators volleyball team is with the new coach Ryan Tice is coming to Lincoln.
Now, will you go to that? Will you go to that?
Yeah, I want to get tickets for that. Yeah.
So you will go for that. Okay, all right.
I really didn't want to go to a Nebraska event, but I did go to a USC game just the other day with a friend of mine. I rooted for USC. And he rooted for Nebraska. So,
Now, which USC?
That would be Southern California.
Oh, Southern Cal. Okay. Who won?
USC did. They beat Nebraska.
So you
So I
kind of
was
got
real
the
happy.
last laugh, huh? Last laugh.
Yeah, anytime Nebraska loses, it's great, So.
Like that.
Oh, man. So, all right, Chris. Well, we're going to have to wind it up kind of time limited today, So you have any final words of encouragement for the young folks out there starting out?
Well, if you have a passion in your life, find out what it is, and then it's like if you do it as a just a fun situation, it's not a job. There's some days where I have to wear a couple jerseys in a row, a couple things in a row because I'll have another event and I'll have to wear a couple jerseys, especially if the teams are playing each other. If Florida State's playing, I'll have a Florida State jersey on and for softball, and then I'll have a Florida jersey over that, depending on if they're playing at the same time, or football the same way,
So the bottom line, it's all about sports, Chris. It's all about.
So follow your passion.
And you really want to, follow it with a passion and give it your all,
Right. Well, there's so much stuff to talk about, Chris. We'll have to have you back on. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Chris. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode of the Palm and Pine podcast. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views and opinions expressed by the host or any guest are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliates. Our opinions are just that, opinions, and are not legal or medical advice. But in our opinion, avoid lawyers and big pharma at all cost. Copyright 2025 Palm and Pine Podcast. All rights reserved. Please subscribe and share. Also, make sure to check out the video version on YouTube. The video version includes bonus content at the end you'll surely don't want to miss. If you have any ideas for future podcast episodes, or if you would like to be a guest, please reach out. We also ask for you to send pictures or any bonus content, and we'd be pleased to add it to the bonus content portion of an episode. Okay, until next time, keep it Florida, and we'll see you soon.